So here is the scarf that I finished making, and this is the width of it, and I'll show you. So I could wrap it around, and this is what it looks like. I know I'm probably not wearing it right, but so that's how it looks. And this is how it looks. I'll step back a little bit to let you see how long it is. So this is one, and here is another one that I did. This one would be great for a child. And here is the very large cowl that I made with scrap. So this is a scrap. And I could probably get it around my neck twice. So very bulky flower. Okay, and then I probably could wear it like this too. You put it like this, and then I was doing something the other day and I realized, oh, like this. Then I realized that I can, if you want, you just wrap, put on, and this is all the back look. And you could wear your scarf like this if you want, and then you could, like that, just throw it over you. So these are the 3 items that I made with the granny V-meet granny stitch. So I hope you like, and you can make something for yourself with this stitch. Okay, bye. Hello everyone, and welcome to Classy Handmade. Today is Stitch and Pattern Tuesday. So today I will be showing you how to make a scarf, but the stitches for today is double crochet and chains, and the pattern to make the scarf is called V meets Granny. So I will be showing you the stitches, and I will show you how to do the V meets Granny pattern and how many multiples you need to do for this pattern. So I have a 2 sample here that I worked up. I have a scarf, and this scarf is worked this way. Okay, and I did a multiple of 4. Sorry guys, a multiple of 3, and I made this scarf. I used 2 different colors for this scarf, and the colors are orange and Dazzle Me, and it's all from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. So I made this scarf. Okay, yes, I made this scarf and I did 27 chains, and I carried the yarn up the side. But today I'll show you, because when I was making this scarf, what I realized is that if you did do it the other way, the ends, you won't have to attach yarn. You can use the ends to make fringes. But if you prefer it, the granny short, this way, and for the scarf, you can do it this way. So this pattern is a multiple of 3. So you need a multiple of 3 to make this pattern. This pattern can be used to make blankets, scarf, shawl, like a cowl, sorry. For instance, here I have a scrappy cowl that I made. I had lots of scrap yarn and I made this cowl. And you just chain to the width that you want, but it must be a multiple of 23. And you can make this scrappy cowl. This cowl, I made it very long. I made a long strip and then I join it the middle. And so it's very wide and it's very long. So it wraps around my neck twice. Okay. So today I will show you how to do a scarf, but I will show you how to do the scarf where it's long and then you just, when you finish the 2 rows, you cut and then start the other rows. So for this scarf today, you need your yarn of your choice. I will be using this yarn, the orange from Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. And Dazzle Me, you see I have a piece here. So this is like a speckle and it have the color orange in it. So I'm using an orange. So and I got a 5mm hook, and you will need a scissors because when you finish every 2 rows, because this pattern you do 2 rows of granny and 2 rows of V, and when you finish each of the 2 rows you will cut the yarn, so you need a scissors. You will need a yarn needle just in case you have any ends to weave in. You will have a yarn needle. So let's get started. If you want to follow along with me in with this pattern, to make the scarf you would need to chain 162. Okay, but if you want to make a blanket, you just go ahead and do a multiple of 3 and you can make it as wide as you like. So let's get started. So for my slip knot, I wrap my yarn around 2 of my fingers and then I take the hook and I insert it and grab it and just pull, and you chain, wrap the yarn and pull through. I know most of you probably know how to do chain, but for those who don't know, I'll show you. This is how I hold my yarn. Sometimes I just do this, hold it like this, my yarn. And I do that, but I'll hold it like this today. So you wrap your yarn and you pull through the loop. And remember guys, because you don't want, if you want, you can use a larger hook to cast on your stitches, or if not, you just crochet your stitch very loosely because you don't want it to be too tight when you start your scarf and the stitches are too tight. It would be all, let me show you, because I did this one and I didn't chain. I had to see, if you notice, it's, let me zoom out a little. You notice the difference with these two. This one is a bit more relaxed and this one is a bit more drawn in. So I will block this out and it will come out, but now I realize use a larger hook or crochet loosely. Okay, so I will use my same hook and I'll crochet loosely. So go ahead and do your 162 stitches and I'll reach you back, or do your desired length if you want to make a blanket, if you want to just make whatever you want to make. You do your multiple of 3 and I'll reach you back. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so okay, I did my multiple of 3, so I did 162 stitches. So what we're going to do, you're going to count back and you from the hook 1 2 3 4 5 6. In the sixth stitch you're going to put a V stitch, and a V stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and that's your V stitch. Then you're going to skip 2 chain and put another V stitch, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Okay, so you will have something that look like this. Let's do that again. Let me okay, so that's a V stitch. You skip 2 chains, and into the third chain you're going to put into the third chain you're going to put a V stitch. So continue skipping 2 chain, and into the next chain you're going to put a V stitch, and a V stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. And I'll meet you back at your last 3 chain. I will finish up there. So I'll go ahead and continue crocheting across, and I'll meet you back at the last 3 chain. So I'm coming to the end. I'm at my last chain 3. So I'm going to skip 2, and into the last chain you're going to put a double crochet. So you're at the end. So the chain that you did is your foundation. So the 162 chain is your foundation. The V stitch is your first row. So your second row you're going to chain 3, 1 2 3, and then you're going to turn. And you're going to put V stitch into V stitch. So wrap your yarn, insert your hook into the V stitch, and do a double crochet, chain 1, and do a double crochet. So V stitch into V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, so it will look like this. So you have your V stitches here, and you're going to continue putting V stitch into V stitch until you get to your last V stitch, and I will meet you back at the end, your last V stitch. So So I'm coming up to the end of my last V stitch. So I'm going to V stitch into that V stitch. At the end you have a set of 3 chains. You're going to double crochet at the top of the chain 3. So insert your hook and you do the double crochet. Sorry. double crochet. So this is the end of our V-stitch for now. We're going to this is the end of our V-stitch section. You're going to chain one. Basically, you're not chaining one, you're fasten off. So you're going to pull your yarn through that loop and leave a generous amount if you want the fringe at the end, and you just cut your yarn. So that's it. Let's see how many inches of yarn I leave at the end for my fringe. I would say this is 10 inches, as you can see. If you want it shorter, you can cut it shorter. Okay, so about 10 inches. And now you're going to join for your next color. For your next color, for the granny square stitches, you're going to join your yarn. Okay, so you're going to join your yarn right here. So take your next color and leave a generous amount, the same 10 inches, sorry. So you measure it to this and you make a slip knot, because these ends that we're leaving, we're going to make fringes out of it. So make a slip knot, insert your hook into the last DC stitch made. So make sure you put you're not crocheting with your ends. Okay, and you're crocheting with the one that is attached to the ball. So we're going to make sure that we're doing that. So insert, and you're going to pull up a loop and just chain 2, secure. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2. So that one will be counted as 1, 2, 3. So you're going to do 3 chain, and into the granny stitch you're going to put a 3 double crochets, so to make our granny stitch. Okay, and you're going to put 3 double crochet into each V stitch. I have a knot in my yarn. I hate when I get knots. So this is how it would look. So you can go ahead and continue your granny stitch into V stitch, and the granny stitch is 3 double crochet. So what you will do is put 3 double crochet into the V stitch, and you're going to do 2 rows of granny stitch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue doing my granny stitch all the way until I get to the last V stitch, and I'll come back and show you how to finish off the row and how to begin the row. So go ahead and continue putting your granny stitch into your V stitch. So I'm coming to the end of my granny stitch row, first granny stitch row, and I'm at my last V stitch here. You can see I'm going to put a granny stitch in there, 3 double crochet, and then I'm going to put a double crochet in the top of the chain 3, and that's your turning chain. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then turn. Into this first stitch space here, after your double crochet, before your granny stitch, you're going to put 1 double crochet in there, like that. Then you're going to skip this granny square here, and you're going to put a granny square. Skip the next granny square, put a granny square. So basically you're putting 1 granny stitch, which is 3 double crochet, between 2 granny squares. So basically it'll look like this. Let me spread it out so you can see it a bit. So you're going in between the granny's stitches that you made in the previous row, and you're going to continue like that until you get to the last granny stitch, and I'll come back and show you how to end the row. So 3 double crochet, granny stitch, so go ahead and I will continue doing mine, so it would look like that, and I'll meet you when you get to the last granny stitch space. So I'm at the end of my last granny stitch. I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet right between that space, and then into the last, my turning chain, I'm going to put 1 double crochet at the top of the chain 3. So just insert your hook and put a double crochet. So you're at the end of your granny stitch row. You're going to fasten off, pull your yarn through, and leave the end. You cut it to your 10 inches. So you measure it with the ones that you already have there. So make sure you stretch it out and you cut it. Even if you cut it a little longer and you realize that, you can always even all of them up when you finish. So that's 4 rows. So we're going to start another row of V-stitch. So leave your 10 inches of yarn, make a slip knot, insert your hook into the chain before you turn. So the last double crochet made, just insert. Let me make sure I'm not crocheting with my ends, okay? So I'm going to insert my hook into the last double crochet, pull up a loop, and I'm going to do a slip stitch to secure. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then turn. Okay, so now you're going to start a set of V-stitch rows. You're going to skip this double crochet right here, and into this space right here you're going to put a V-stitch. So a V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, a double crochet into the same space. You're going to skip this granny stitch and put a V-stitch into the next space. Skip the next granny stitch, V-stitch. Chain 1, V, double crochet, V-stitch, and the V-stitch is double crochet, chain 1, V-stitch. Okay, let me show you what is going to happen now. So here we start another row of V-stitch. So you're going to continue all the way to the end until you get to your last space right here on the other side, and I'll reach you back there and show you what to do. So I'm at the end of my last granny stitch. I'm going to granny stitch, put a V-stitch into that space, and a V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same space. So you're going to skip this double crochet right here, and you're going to double crochet in the top of the turning chain. Okay, so your piece will look like that. So you're going to repeat these 4 rows until you get to the width you want. So I'm going to, and remember to chain 3 before you turn. So you chain your 3 and then you turn. And then you, for the V-stitch row, you're going to put V-stitch into V-stitch. Okay. So go ahead and repeat these 4 rows, 2 rows of V-stitch and 2 rows of granny stitch until you get to your desired width that you want. I think for my width of my scarf, I will do about 8 inches. If you want about this width, let me show you. And this is the, I did short rows instead for this, but I'll come back and show you. I did it in a longer version this way because what I realized, I won't have to carry my yarn up the side. Okay, and then when you get to the end, you just leave 10 inches and it will work. We will put fringe at the end when we are finished, so you can leave the ends 10 inches of length for your fringes, and then when you finish your desired width, I'll come back and we will do the fringes together and finish up our scarf. So go ahead and repeat those 4 rows that I show you and get your desired width. And when I finish my desired width, I'll come back and we'll do the fringes together. So I finished the width of my scarf that I wanted, and I end up adding 2 more colors, and I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 rows. So you can see that's the width. If you don't want to do as much rows, you can do up to this here, and you will have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 rows. But I start on the V-stitch and I end on the V-stitch. So my scarf right now is about 9.5 inches in width. So if you start with me and I just said get 2 colors, you can continue in your 2 colors. But I was knitting, crocheting along. I decided, you know what, let me add some color further, some different color of V-stitch, and show how it would look if you add different color for the V-stitch. So I went ahead and did that. And I ran out of this yarn here, which is the Dazzle Me, and I had some, I love this yarn white, and I just continue the granny square in white. So basically this is just to show you how to do the stitches, and if you want to make the scarf, how to make the scarf. The amount of stitches that I also did, you can continue if you don't want a scarf and make a blanket. I think it's generous enough to be a blanket size. I'm fold it in half and I'll tell you the width that I have. So basically this will be like, right now it's folded in half is about 27 inches. So that would be like a width of 50 something, 54 inches in width. So if you want to make a blanket, you can continue with the same amount of stitches and just make a blanket. So I made the scarf, so I'm going to show you how to do the edging. So you can see these are the string that is left back from joining the different colors. I have a book here, and this book is about 7 inches in length. And I'm going to take the 3 colors that I did my scarf in, and I'm going to make some fringes for my scarf. So I'm going to get the colors. I'm going to put the ends together like this, and I'm going to get the orange here, and I'm going to start from the bottom of the book, lay the yarn, and I'm going to wrap the yarn around the book. Okay, and I'm going to continue doing this for as many fringe I want. I'm not counting, so I'm going to wrap until I'm satisfied with how much. And if you wrap and you think it's not enough, you could always go back and wrap some more and get some more fringe. So I just wrap it around like this. And bring the finishing end back here, and I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut this now here, and so to make my fringe for my scarf. Okay, so this is about 14 inches, and when you fold it, it will be like 7. So you just take 3 of the colors and put it through, and make sure you got all. You can do one by one, or you can do it like this, and then you just grab it with the ones that is already there. Make sure you got all of it, and you see. Let me move these things out the way so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So here I have one set I've done. So you go ahead, make sure you have one of each color. Make sure the ends are all even, like this, even as much as possible, and you just put it through the end, grab it, pull it through, make a loop. You could even use your finger. See, you could use your finger and just open it like that and grab it and pull it through. Okay, let's do that again. Get 3 colors. It's 4 colors, sorry, I keep saying 3. Get, and you, what am I saying? Yeah, 4 colors in all. Make sure you got all of them. It's something, because it's so much strand, you can miss one. And you grab it like that and you pull it through. Okay, so you see I didn't even my ends up, and I end up with uneven ends. Some people like it like that, but so let's even it up, put it through, make sure it's all even, Steven. Boy. And you just grab, if it's not, you just even it up, because sometimes it can be difficult. So you continue this all the way to the end, the other side of your scarf, and then when you finish, you do the same thing to the other end. For instance, you have a orange and a white there. You can just go into there and just do like this. Okay, put this there, and then just grab all of these and bring it through like that. So that's what you do with it. Let me show you that again. So you have two, you have a orange and white. So I'm going to get a green and a yellow, and I'm going to put it right there where that is. I'm going to open it, put this like that with this, and I'm going to take all four and pull it through. See? And you continue doing that. I'm going to continue doing mine, and I'm going to come back and show you how it looks. So I finished my fringes, and this is how it looks, and I'm going to even it up. So here we go. If you want, you know what you can do, you can take a book and you can just do like that and just cut your fringe. But unfortunately my scissors is not sharp enough, and it's one of those, you know, I should have gotten a bigger scissors. It would have been much bigger. So you could put the book on top of it to keep the fiber down, and make sure you have a even. So you see, I finish the scarf. So this is how the fringe look, and this is how the scarf look. You can use as much color you like to make the scarf, and I hope you will make this scarf and you will like this pattern, and you will make, you can use it to make your blanket, a scarf, I don't know what's wrong with me today, a shawl, a, you know, you could use a stitch for so many things, a cowl, and so on. So this is how mine's look. I'll take some pictures and insert it so you can see the finished item. And if you make this and you would like to let me see, if you don't have a channel, you can go join my Facebook group. I will leave the link in the description box below, and you could come over and join my Facebook group Classy Handmade, and show off your makes and show the colors that you have chosen. So okay guys, thank you, and remember to be kind. Until next time, thank you for joining me on Stitch and Pattern Tuesday. Look at this, guys. That's why sometimes you don't want to wear a blanket. You don't want to use crochet stuff with your bracelets. So this is the finished item, my finished scarf. See the colors? So you can wrap this around many times. Do like that. Okay.